Hey everyone, quick story on the famous Black Stratocaster that David Gilmour used on Pink Floyd sessions, the famous records across the 70s. So I was lucky to see this guitar, David Gilmour's Black Stratocaster, up close a few months ago. It was on display in New York before heading to auction, and that's where I took this photo. The guitar that played the Comfortably Numb and Dark Side of the Moon solos, just, it was it was humbling to see this. And the one that's been painted, repainted, worn back down again, and used for years and years and years. So I've listened to Pink Floyd since I was a kid, and those guitar solos all felt ineffable, like they'd been around since the dawn of time. You hear them and you don't think technique, you think that's the sound of something that's just true. But standing 2 feet from the instrument, I saw something else. And so I saw that the pickups are raised much higher than the factory spec. That neck pickup, the middle pickup, and the bridge pickup, all of them, they had parts of some of their magnets were cranked really high up close to the strings. And I know other people have written and made videos on this, but I wanted to give my take on this because I thought I saw something special in them. So you saw some of the magnets cranked up closer to the strings than you'd see on most Strats hanging in a guitar shop. And Gilmour didn't leave his pickups where the Fender factory set them just by default. He didn't follow the spec sheet. He adjusted them by ear, by feel, by trial until the guitar did what he needed it to do. And once he found that spot, he left it there for a long time. So the thing we hear is Gilmour's tone is partly his fingers, it's partly his amp, partly those pedals in his effects chain, but it's also this, what we see in the photo. A millimeter level adjustment to a few magnets wrapped in copper wire. So a tiny physical decision that shaped every note he played through that guitar. Now, most people want to create something that's great by asking, what's the secret? They want a formula, the preset, the template. They want someone to tell them where the pickups are supposed to be. But the actual answer is, I was thinking, is could be more boring and specific. And that's that David Gilmour raised his pickups because it got him closer to the sound in his head. He probably tried them lower first. Then he probably tried them at different heights on different days in different ways. And then he just listened and he adjusted and he then tried new things and then he committed. So that's organic creation in a microcosm, just really zooming in close. So you don't start with a borrowed framework. You start with your own ears, you start with your own materials, and you make small, deliberate choices until the thing sounds like you over time. So the pickups on your guitar are adjustable. It's not just the way you structure a song or write a line or build a system or shape your career. The factory setting is a starting point. It's not the answer. So the other thing that hit me while standing in front of that guitar is the wear and tear on it. So this isn't a museum piece in mint condition, obviously. The black paint is chipped, the pick guard is scratched, and there's a groove worn into the body where his arm rested for thousands of hours. So you really can't fake that. We're actually seeing the process of it becoming a relic. So no artificial aging, no marketing story produces that same effect as 30 years of someone's arm resting in the same spot while they search for the right note. The raised pickups are the intention. The worn paint is the proof. So I walked out of that room thinking about my own work differently. Am I leaving things at the factory setting because I haven't bothered to adjust them? Am I searching for a Gilmour pickup height spec that I can copy instead of sitting with my own instrument in my own ears until I found the sound that I've been chasing? So there's nothing wrong with learning from the people that came before you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong necessarily with a factory spec or a template. Gilmour himself learned from Hendrix, from B.B. King, from blues players that came before him. But at some point, you have to stop looking at someone else's settings and start listening to your own hands. So trust the preparation enough to let it go. But first, do the preparation. Raise the pickups if they need raising. Wear the paint off the guitar. Make the small, specific choices that add up to a sound that no one else can make, a sound that's yours. Because when someone stands 2 feet from your instrument 50 years from now, let's say, The thing they should see isn't a copy of someone else's settings. It's a record of every choice you make to become yourself. Thanks for watching.